2 for 2 right now from the top of the key there with a nice little finger roll. So apparently the finger roll was a little too close for him.
Yeah, it looks like Joey McClain, I think, has the highest score, or I should say the lowest time so far. We'll see if he can get it done here.
And here's Joey McClain coming up again for his second go-around coming up.
Here we go. Joey quickly proving you right, saying he's one of the best players in the state.
Making that pass there. Oh! Guys are soon realize you can't take any of these easy skills for granted here. Got to complete the play on all of them.
Joey getting over to the corner.
Now let's see if he'll finish up with a bang here. Put it down, big man.
We're so disappointed, but it was overall a good run by Joey.
Oh, that was a great showing for everybody there.
We're so spoiled now that when you start seeing these elite players, you want them to throw everything down.
And how about James Blackburn going against everything that he said with Peyton Sell winning? His pick came true.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think the fix might be in.
He called it.
I'll take it here early.
I just think I'm a little worried about who he's going to pick for the next one. He may have some inside information.
We got the dunk and the 3-point coming up next.
Well, going back to Peyton is a player that, D3 coaches, I'm not sure if they're on him right now, but he'd be a player that would be able to shoot the ball good enough at that level.
Well, James, it also looks like he has some really good size to him. How tall is that thing?
He should be, I'm thinking he's about 6'1", 6'2". He played AAU last year for the North Carolina Spartans.
Yeah, and he's shown very well to be touched that you talk about. He's not missed a shot in tournament play yet, or in skills challenge play yet. So,
and now we've got the players warming up, Marcus, for the 3-point competition next.
I was about to tell you guys, we got the 3-point, and then we got the dunk contest, and we got the ball is live dunk contest. We've got some superstar dunkers.
These events are always very funny to me to see who actually shows up for the events, because it seems like everybody wants to be a 3-point shooter. Everybody thinks that they're able to shoot the 3-pointer, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out and performs.
So everybody's being warmed up for the 3-point contest. I don't know if there's any favorites out here in this specific thing. I know Riley LaRue is a spectacular 3-point shooter. Riley's father, Rusty, most recently assistant coach at Wake Forest, and also a former Chicago Bull and Wake Forest standout. But yeah. Riley is a fantastic, strong outside guard with the deep ball, so I'm sure he'll be a main contender.
From the looks of it here, there's some pretty good players here. You have the Loyola of Maryland commitment, Colton Bishop out here playing. You have former, I guess Flomo's not in. Joey McClain's in it as well. You got Peyton Sell, who just won the skills competition. Looks like he's got some warm legs to him.
One of the dark horses here, Jamie, as well, would be Aaron Lipscomb out of Winston-Salem Prep. The kid can shoot the lights out. I thought he was one of the best shooters I saw this year, so he would probably be one of my dark horse favorites early on.
No, I think so. I don't know if he's a dark horse or not. He's probably one of the best 3-point shooters in the state.
I was about to say, if he's your favorite, is he already a dark horse?
I just realized that before this, we were doing interviews with these guys, and James was actually the guy going down there and talking to most of the players, that he may have set something up ahead of time, and that's why he knows he's going to win.
I believe that might be the case, because he's mighty confident now with his picks coming out.
Yeah, James isn't usually that forceful with his picks. All of a sudden, he's very confident.
All right, so we have about 50 seconds here until we get going with the first round. This is the broadcast here, the Triad All-Star Game. We got Marcus Shockley along with James Blackburn and myself, Jamie Shaw, coming to you live.
Thanks, Jamie. Filling in for us today and working with us. For those who are not familiar with the Triad All-Star, this is the 3rd annual event, and Champion is the main sponsor, as well as they also have sponsorship from Salem Smiles, which is the orthodontics here in Winston-Salem. But Champion has been a sponsor of this event since last year. This is the third year. The second year has been a Precise Country Day, and Keyshawn Bishop, who organizes this event, originally just set out as a fundraiser for some of his ministries, traveling, I think, to his home country and St. Vincent and Grenadine. And Keyshawn has been, living in the United States for quite some time, playing college basketball here. But this is really a labor of love for Keyshawn, putting on this event. He's a basketball player. He can still play. He's from His son is actually in the event today, but Keyshawn was putting on this event before his son was eligible, and I'm sure he'll continue to do it after this. And it's grown to be an annual event that's really special. I mean, you can look around the crowd and you can see, we've always got a packed house, and we're only in the skills challenge. So, this is about a half-a-day event, starting around 3 o'clock. So it's been a big success for him, and it's kudos to him.
And then Keyshawn can still get up on his own right, Marcus. He might, if the dunk contest gets bad enough, he might just jump in and show us something as well.
I know Keyshawn will blow it down, but I don't know if we'll need him midfield. We've got some spectacular dunks.
And it looks like we're starting off here with straight off of his skills challenge victory. Peyton Sell at Davie High School looks to be starting off. James, how do you think Peyton will fare in this? How do you think Peyton will fare?
I'm going to predict a second place finish.
A second place finish, huh? Man, you are not confident with it.
My favorites could be Lipscomb here early.
I'm even more bothered if you continue to order and people are going to finish.
All right, here goes Peyton starting off from the corner here.
And that money ball, the black ball that you guys see would be the money balls they use to return in the NBA.
What's going on down here?
So it looks like he gets to put, just like the NBA, he gets to pick the area that he's most comfortable in to put all money balls.
Yes, Keyshawn had mentioned that, but they got to pick, every player's going to have a different spot. Their favorite spot's going to be the money ball spot.
If you name your favorite spot, you got to drill it.
Peyton coming around here at the left wing, coming down to the left corner here, just start shooting. He's
Peyton has played with more twins than most high school players would have ever played with. Yeah, I don't know if he holds the record, but last year on Davie, they had the Hatfield twins and the Martin twins who played for Oak Hill last year. They were both on the same squad. So Peyton was the only non-twin in the starting lineup.
And Peyton just finishes his round with 7 points there. I'm sure he'd like to have a couple of those shots back, but here comes James Blackburn's favorite, Aaron Lipscomb, to start off.
And this kid can get hot. He's one of those streaky type three-point shooters where he can string together 8 or 9 shots in a row.
Yeah, Lipscomb is pretty much running outside. He can do it in full speed game action. So
Very, very quick release.
Yeah, quick release. He's a little undersized for a guard, but for a collegiate guard, but he's a deadly outside shooter. Having a little trouble on that second rack right there. Now he's going to his money ball rack.
Lipscomb, he's sitting at 5. That's 7 right there for Lipscomb coming out. And, looks like these guys are struggling a little bit to find the comfort zone, find the groove in their stroke.
I know Keyshawn is following him around. One thing Keyshawn tried to do this year was change up when they actually do these challenges so the guys wouldn't be as tired after having played a half or something like that.
It looks like Lipscomb is struggling a little bit being wide open. He's used to having a guy running at him, so possibly
he needs a hand in his face.
He's used to having about 2 or 3 guys running at him, I'm sure.
He's got Boy, 6'8" on his team, 6'5", so in practice even I'm sure.
Lipscomb finishes there with 9 points. Up next, as Marcus mentioned before, is Riley LaRue, who played at
East Forsyth High School.
East Forsyth this year and at Forsyth today last year, I believe.
He's played at East, I believe. This is the junior and senior year.
Okay.
Was at East Forsyth. And like I told you, Jamie, Peyton was going to be in second and Lipscomb first, which is the way we have it right now.
They might as well just go ahead and stop the competition because it's already over.
So right there, Riley is just 3 in a row. 4 in a row. Now the money ball. Couldn't sink the money ball, but that one he scorched that rack.
Now Riley played in the Triad Ball League this year, and I believe he poured in at one point over 40 points in a game earlier this year.
He gets hot on the outside, but he's a relatively consistent shooter out there too.
So the unique thing about Riley LaRue in this thing is that he was forced because of his size at about 6'4" to be playing the 4 and 5 a lot of the time this year for his high school team.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Riley.
Riley LaRue has jumped on into the lead here, finishing with 10, taking it from Aaron Lipscomb, who finished with 9. This is Austin Hatfield coming from Mount Tabor High School. A As Marcus mentioned before, the Hatfields were at Davie County last year playing with Peyton Sell. They transferred this year to finish up at Mount Tabor.
And both of the twins are uncommitted. Still looking at where they want to play. They've said that they don't have to play together. So I guess it's whatever team is looking for a fit. If they want one or the other player, they're both very similar in their games. But sometimes a college will take a twin because they feel like they're getting a 2-for-1 deal. They're getting two similar guys. But not all colleges will do that.
And there's no doubting about the fact that these two guys, despite everything, they're winners. They come out and they get after it, and they win a lot of games because of their determination and their skill.
Mount Tabor lost in the playoffs this year to West Charlotte, and West Charlotte pretty much beat them by shutting down the Hatfields, like focusing their entire defense on them. Earlier in the year, the Hatfields were scoring 30, 40 points a game, so West Charlotte knew what they were doing to try to limit their points.
Austin Hatfield finishes there with a new number 1 of 14 points.
Hatfield looking very good.
Nobody's wanting to step up and go next here.
Just award the championship to Hatfield, I guess.
Yes, so this is Emmanuel Marie, who you just saw in the skills challenge as well, now coming up from North Forsyth.
North Forsyth had a really good run this year in the playoffs, I seem to remember.
They did. They lost, I guess, the regional championships, the West Regional Championships to Freedom High School, who went on and won in a thrilling 3A championship over Hunt. That was a fantastic game, actually. The player of that game was Kedrick Flomo, who had about 39 points. But Marie here had a great year, and he's coming through. It looks like he's preferring to shoot on the left-hand side of the rack as opposed to the right-hand side that a lot of other kids are shooting from. But, seems to be working for him so far.
Coach Vestal in North Forsyth, he always, every year it seems like he loses a star player, and then he still is able to get somebody else to come off the bench and develop his players. So. 15 points for Marie, so he moves into first.
Sneaking ahead of the Hatfield, coming through with 15 is Marie from North Forsyth. Northwest Guilford, this is Nick Powell coming up to shoot.
Struggling on the first rack here. Finally gets one to go down now to money ball. So hopefully the second rack will go a little better for him. Sometimes those guys get up there in the corners and can just find their rhythm, and that's what's happening right now.
Powell, who came out ready to play, he's been sitting in his jersey actually the whole warm-ups while the girls' game, while everybody else was sitting in their sweats. Powell was just sitting there in his game jersey ready to go. So I expect a good showing from him here.
Seems like all the players are struggling with that money ball rack.
Marcus, I don't know if this is correct or not, but those balls, they seem like they're not the same texture. They're a Wake Forest ball, and it's something different. That's what I would guess it would be.
We have investigative reporter James Blackburn on the scene here.
I'm not sure whether I buy that, or maybe again James has more information than I do.
It seems like they're going from an outdoor ball to an indoor ball.
Yeah, folks, I just want to tell you that the kind of insight that you're getting on this broadcast is second to none. You don't get this on an NBA level broadcast. James is actually looking at the texture of the balls to explain why some of the players are not able to shoot from a specific position. I mean, you don't see Charles Barkley doing that on an NBA broadcast.
That's what we do on Netcast Sports. We give you the inside scoop.
That's right. Thanks again for everybody tuning in today. This is Netcast Sports. We're here at the Triad Champion Men's Basketball All-Star Game, and right now we're going through the skills challenge and the three-point shootout. I am Marcus Schock.
Yes, this is Step White, Jamie.
All right, so Step White stepping up to the plate. James, are you familiar with Step in his game?
Yes, Step was, he was one of the backcourt members with Cole Bishop this year for Side Country Day. A real speedy guard, could get to the rim. He's a streaky three-point shooter. His game's mainly get to the basket. He can set up people, but he's an underrated guard. I think a guard that some D3 schools, possibly junior college, should be looking at.
Steph here shooting on his home court. He plays for Forsyth Country Day, and this is the Forsyth Country Day court. So, again, struggling with the money ball rack coming through here. Steph on his last position.
He's an excellent defender. He can defend 90 feet from the rim, coast to coast, and that's really what he's mainly used for, is to really harass the opposing guard.
Steph finishing with 11 here. It looks to be that 16 is still the winner. Still up. Next up we have Joey McLean coming from High Point Christian. And you know what? That was a joke I was telling you. Next up is Colton Bishop, also from Forsyth Country Day. Colton, who is Keyshawn's son, the Keyshawn who's running the event's son, has committed to Loyola of Maryland here. Colton also shooting on his home court here at Forsyth Country Day.
Colton is a guy who has really worked himself from being sort of a marginal college player to a solid D1 prospect. And now Loyola's getting a really smart high basketball IQ guard. He's explosive and quick. He can play on or off the ball. Basically, for Forsyth Country, they needed him to be on the ball last year and off the ball this year, and that's what he did.
And Marcus, not only that, Loyola is getting a really good kid here. This is a kid that you will not find any problems from. He's a kid that will step in and be a leader immediately. And he's a program type of kid that you can build your program on and the face of your program around, knowing that he's going to do the right thing and make good decisions on and off the court.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of colleges, they're very serious about it, especially after they get burned a couple of times. You get guys who can play at the college level and even qualify, but then they show up and they quit on the team, or they're difficult, and they want guys who are good, solid character guys. They can, like you say, build their team around.
It looks like this court is not holding a home court advantage here, as 8 while Steph finished with 7. And now up here is Joey McLean, whom you just saw in the skills challenge. Joey, as we mentioned before, played a backup role last year to UNC current freshman Deontay Baldwin, and had to step in this year and kind of lead the pack for them. Marcus, what do you think about Joey and his skills?
Well, Joey is, as we said before, he's probably the best or one of the best point guards in the state, and he's sort of an overlooked guy. I like him. He's versatile, and he can play. One of the things about High Point Christian and Greensboro Day, and also Wesley, and they battle all the time. And he's a guy that's been going against what other scouts would say were elite prospects, and held his own.
One of the great stories I like to tell about Joey McLean and his defensive ability is that Theo Benson this year, who is a local prospect going to UNC, went up to score 39 points against Emmanuel Moutier. The night before, Joey McLean defended Theo, and Theo only got 11 points that game. And that goes to show a little bit as to how dogged of a defender and how tough of a thing he makes it on the defensive end for a player as well as the offensive end.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't realize how you can tell so much about a player just basically who they played against, and who they've been able to defend. Anybody, well, I wouldn't say anybody can score, but a lot of players can score and they focus on scoring. But a guy who can shut down a superstar or at least limit him is really special. You just don't see that even at the college level.
It's definitely something that's overlooked a lot in the high school game.
So, who's coming up here? Is that the final standing?
So it looks like they're named in the top 4 here. Steph White, who finished with 11 in the first round, will go first here in the final 4. Steph looks to be really stepping in and jumping on his shot here. I wonder how his legs will fare throughout the entire competition with putting so much effort into each shot here.
And Jamie, you brought up a good point about the legs. It's interesting to see all these kids. They all have different shooting strokes. Some have very low releases. Some don't hardly jump. Some, like Steph here, he gets a lot of elevation on his shot. So.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does, James. Very well put.
You know, he has a nice consistency to his shot. That's one of the things, you know, you want to see guys putting the ball up the same way every single time. Hopefully their shooting technique is good, but you don't want to see guys who the ball is different every time it comes off their hand.
Steph finishing up his round here. He's getting done.
You know, we're seeing a lot of guys with time left on the clock. Some guys have had 10 seconds. Steph had 9.6. I'm wondering if guys are rushing their shot a little bit, getting a little nervous here in front of the crowd, or if they need to slow down and take the right shot.
It's kind of tough. You don't want to glance over there while you're trying to line up your shot and get in a rhythm. You don't really want to glance over and see how much time you have.
And this is Joey McClain here. Steph White just finished with 9. This is Joey McClain coming up who had 11 in the first round. Again from High Point Christian here, Joey. As he shoots an over in the first rack, going around to the second, hoping to find him a little rhythm.
Still not able to find the bottom of the bucket on this one. He's finally there at the next to last and the money ball. So if you're going to hit a couple, try to get one of them to be the money ball.
Absolutely. Let's see if Joey can get something going here. It looks like he's liking the outdoor balls.
The Wake Forest balls were investigated before to James Blackburn. So maybe Joey's just ready for the college ball. That's what he did pretty well on the money ball rack.
Let's see if Joey closes strong here with his final 2 shots. And he makes it.
You know, one thing, and this goes back to what James said earlier, is on those last 2 shots, Joey actually paused and slowed his rhythm down and tried to get them in. So, you know, it shows some real awareness. Those are his last 2 shots.
As Joey finishes there with 14 points after having 11 in the first round. Coming up here is Austin Hatfield, who is the left-handed version of the Hatfield twins. He finished with 15, I believe, in the first round. Starting off down here in the corner.
A couple of nice bottom of the net shots to finish that rack. He wasn't able to carry it over to this rack though. It finally finds and the third shot finally finds the bottom of the basket. Now the 2 out of 3 there on the last 3. Now over to the money ball rack. He had to pause there for a minute. There's so many balls coming off the rim. He had to dodge.
As Austin here finishes up on this final rack, he looks to be hopefully finishing strong here, and the last ball coming up from Hatfield.
He wasn't happy with that last rack, you can tell. It didn't come off the way he wanted it to. Kind of looked like maybe the rack wasn't positioned for a left-handed shooter quite correctly. It was, you know, the last shooter was a right-handed shooter. It looked like Austin kind of was having to shoot behind the rack a little bit more. Manuel Maury coming back up to the Northwood side.
Maury comes here. You have Joey McClain, who's leading with 14 points at the time. Maury needs 14 to tie, 15 to win. Starts off, it seems like everybody's struggling with this first rack here. Maybe the adrenaline or anticipation of the round getting to him a little bit.
Second rack finds the bottom on the first one. Second one, 3 in a row, yes. 4, and then for the money ball.
And Maurice
here behind on that rack. Clearing the rack, but then Rick's the money ball rack. Finally gets the third shot. He also has the pause as the rebounds are coming off. So that goes to what James was saying, a little bit quick coming around there.
As he finishes strong here, Maurice coming through.
Third. Fourth.
And
Soft touch, but not soft enough.
And your winner here is Joey McClain of the 3-point contest at High Point Christian.
Furious shooting here by Emmanuel Maury to try to catch him, but unable to do so.
And if you go search my timeout on Twitter, you'll sit there and say when Keyshawn asked who I felt would win the 3-point contest, it is documented that Joey McClain was my choice here, and this was before today.
So going against the fixer, James Blackburn, and getting the win. So we're going to take a break, folks, and when we come back, we're going to have the dunk contest. So You stay with us.